The rise of paper stability. Nothing tangible changed on the surface. Vaults remained full. Screens showed healthy ratios. Reports confirmed compliance. Stability appeared solid, documented, certified, and endlessly repeated. To understand how stability became something written rather than lived, we need to look at how trust shifted from behavior to documentation. As systems grew larger and more complex, direct understanding became impossible. Institutions relied on reports, ratings, and models to describe reality. Numbers replaced observation. Paper replaced memory. This transformation brought efficiency. Risks could be measured, compared, and aggregated. Oversight became scalable. Decisions could be justified with data. Stability felt provable, even scientific. If the document said the system was safe, the system was treated as safe. But paper stability has limits. It reflects assumptions frozen in time. It captures snapshots, not motion. When conditions remain familiar, the numbers align with experience. When behavior shifts, documentation lags behind reality. Institutions adapted to this framework. Risk management focused on maintaining reported strength. Balance sheets were optimized for appearance under measurement. Activities that improved ratios were encouraged. Activities that complicated reporting were avoided. Even if they improved real resilience, markets embraced the same signals. Ratings guided investment. Metrics shaped confidence. Stability became something to be verified, not questioned. As long as the paperwork held, belief followed. Regulators faced a similar constraint. Oversight depended on reports delivered on schedule, reviewed after fact. Compliance meant alignment with documentation. What could not be easily recorded was difficult to act upon. Silence in the data felt reassuring. Early distortions appeared quietly. Institutions behaved in ways that improved reported stability while increasing behavioral risk. Correlations rose despite healthy ratios. Liquidity thinned without violating thresholds. Each issue was explainable, but none were visible in isolation. This was the opening shift. Stability stopped being a lived condition and became a documented one. Trust moved from experience to representation. And once that happens, the system begins to manage appearances as carefully as outcomes. Because when stability exists mainly on paper, it can look perfect, right up until the moment it isn't. As paper stability became the primary signal of safety, behavior adjusted to protect it. Institutions learned how to manage ratios, reports, and disclosures with precision. Risk was shaped to fit frameworks rather than reduced in substance. What mattered most was not how the system behaved under stress, but how it appeared under review. Models gained authority. Stress scenarios were refined. Capital adequacy became a target rather than a buffer. When results looked strong, confidence followed, even if the assumptions behind them were rarely questioned. Stability was treated as something that could be engineered through alignment with measurement. This focus changed incentives. Activities that improved reported metrics expanded. Risks that were difficult to quantify received less attention. Complexity increased where it remained invisible to reporting. The system became adept at looking strong, while quietly narrowing its margin for error. Markets reinforced the illusion. Investors relied on ratings and disclosures to assess safety. Funding flowed toward institutions that performed well on paper. Stability became competitive. Firms optimized not only for performance, but for perception. Success was defined by compliance, not resilience. Regulators, constrained by scale, depended heavily on documentation. Reports arrived regularly. Thresholds were met. Intervention felt unnecessary when indicators remained green. What could not be captured in forms or filings struggled to justify concern. Early warning signs emerged outside the paperwork. Behavioral alignment increased. Liquidity moved faster than balance sheets suggested. Small disruptions produced outsized reactions that reports did not predict. Each signal was noted, but none disrupted the narrative of documented stability. This was the deeper buildup, a system increasingly governed by representation rather than reality. Decisions were guided by what could be proven, not what could be felt. Stability existed in filings and forecasts. Even as behavior became more brittle, paper stability did not lie. It simply described a version of the system frozen in assumptions. And as long as those assumptions held, the picture looked reassuring. The danger was not deception. It was overconfidence in documentation as a substitute for lived stress, because a system that measures stability perfectly can still fail imperfectly. The conflict emerges when reality begins to diverge from representation. Stress arrives in forms of documents never anticipated. Reports remain strong, but behavior shifts. Liquidity tightens. Correlations rise. The system reacts faster than the paperwork can reflect. Institutions face a disconnect. Internal dashboards show compliance, yet operational strain is unmistakable. Risk managers sense pressure that models do not capture. Decisions must be made before reports can be updated. Confidence in documentation falters under real-time stress. Markets react to behavior, not filings. Prices move sharply despite reassuring disclosures. Investors trust their instincts over ratings. Stability on paper collides with instability in motion. The narrative breaks down. Regulators encounter the same tension. Reports still meet thresholds, yet interventions feel necessary. Acting contradicts the documentation. Waiting risks allowing stress to spread. Authority built on paperwork struggles to respond to behavior unfolding between reporting cycles. Public perception shifts quickly. If everything was stable on paper, why does it feel unstable in practice? Trust erodes not because rules were broken, but because representations failed to capture reality. Confidence built on documentation proves fragile when experience contradicts it. This is the core conflict. Paper stability is slow. Reality is fast. When conditions change quickly, reliance on representation delays response. The system hesitates, waiting for confirmation that arrives too late. The gap between what is reported and what is happening becomes dangerous. Decisions made to protect appearances may worsen behavior. Institutions prioritize metrics while stress compounds. Stability becomes something to defend rather than something to restore. The conflict is not between truth and deception. It is between static measurement and dynamic behavior. And when systems rely too heavily on the former, they lose sight of the latter, because a system can look stable in every document and still be failing in real time. The reckoning arrives when the system accepts that documentation cannot substitute for experience. Stability cannot be proven solely through reports, no matter how detailed or frequent. When behavior diverges from representation, reality always wins. In the aftermath, oversight begins to shift. Regulators expand focus beyond static metrics into real-time behavior. Stress indicators are redesigned to capture movement, correlation, and response speed rather than fixed ratios. Silence in reports is no longer taken as reassurance, but as a prompt for deeper scrutiny. Institutions adapt as well. Risk management broadens beyond compliance into situational awareness. Decision makers place greater weight on operational signals that precede deterioration. Reporting remains essential, but it is treated as a map, not the territory itself. Markets adjust expectations. Ratings lose some authority. Transparency gains importance. Investors look beyond filings toward how institutions behave under pressure. Stability becomes something observed in action, not inferred from numbers alone. For the public, trust rebuilds slowly, not because systems appear perfect on paper, but because they respond more credibly when stress emerges. The system feels less polished, but more honest. Fewer assurances are offered. More uncertainty is acknowledged. Looking back, the rise of paper stability reveals a simple but costly lesson. Measurement is necessary, but it is not sufficient. Documentation captures the past. Stability must survive the present. The future of resilience depends on remembering this distinction, on treating numbers as signals, not guarantees, and on recognizing that real stability is not something written. It is something tested repeatedly under conditions no report can fully predict, because when stability exists only on paper, it disappears the moment reality demands proof. Subscribe to join the journey. The rise